talk to a lot of people on this programme who fundraise for many and various local charities and causes, from solo marathon runners, that was last week, to big campaigns. They've all got one thing in common: there's always a target to reach, and it's not always easy, rather daunting sometimes. Well, we have an expert right here in Gloucestershire. Chris Stoddard is an international speaker, author and charity fundraising specialist, and also CEO at an organisation called Raise More. We'll hear about that. That's in the Forest of Dean. He's just published a new guide called A Blueprint for Fundraising. He's with me now. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. So this is interesting. We do talk to a lot of charities, a lot of fundraising events, a lot of awareness being raised about various things, and this is a little bit of advice, particularly for small charities, is what you're looking at.
Indeed.
And so tell us about the book.
So the book is designed to really meet just one need, and that is to get across the point that people don't send money just through being aware of a problem or an issue, or aware that charities need money. You've got to do far more than just generate awareness to generate money.
Awareness must help, though.
Well, it sets the background. Yeah, of course. And events create awareness. They created an atmosphere where you can ask for money, and social media does the same. It can create the atmosphere where somebody be receptive to be asked. But even the writers on using social media in charity now are publishing material which says if you're banking on social media to raise money, you'll be in for a disappointment.
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
It's good publicity, good relationship building, but there's one thing missing, and that is the direct ask, one person to another. And whether you think that fundraising is all to do with applying for grants, or getting companies to be involved, or involving individuals, at the end of the day, there is an individual that makes a decision. At the grant making trust, the company. So fundraising is all about how you contact individuals and generate, a real understanding of what your issues are, what your problems are, and asking in the right way with a message delivered.
I'm sure everybody is all ears now at all the charities in Gloucestershire. How do we need to ask? Yes.
Yeah.
What do we need to change? What's generally small charities not doing that they should be doing?
Well, now, this is a subject that's researched to death. This is not just me saying, but small charities miss out hugely on money from companies, especially smaller local ones, and from individuals, enormously from individuals. And it'd be interesting exercise for anybody listening to get hold of annual reports of any and all of the bigger charities that are doing the kind of work they'd be interested in. And at the end of each annual report is a pie chart which shows where their money came from. And in nearly all cases, a vast amount of it comes from individuals, not grant-making trusts and not companies.
When you say individuals, is that in people's wills, or how is that money getting to them?
Just the ordinary person at home.
Okay.
The range of sources of funds is... This is the key. How do you tempt people to donate from their own personal funds? And the hierarchy would be ask for a small donation, then maybe in time ask if they could help again, then talk about a larger project where they could be involved and make a larger donation, and maybe then ask if they would be interested in leaving a gift in memory of somebody. It could even be an animal that's passed.
So you're saying that charities, don't go back to the same person time and time again, and if you did, they might prove to be quite generous.
Well, exactly, but they for the smaller ones, by and large, don't take the first step either in making an initial contact. It's a complex mix of reasons. There is money involved, but I don't know of a case where you can't write appropriately to an individual. You've got to make sure that they have enough to give away, but that's not difficult.
How do you find these people? You know,
Yeah. Well,
that's the thing, isn't it, for the charity?
Yeah, there are many sources, very good mailing list brokers, many specialists at targeting emails that can help make sure the message ends up on the right doormat. Exactly, but from then on, that first contact can turn into, a lifelong.
Well, it could be loyalty, I suppose, built up then after that.
There's a mystery about, are we talking about a relationship or an ongoing transaction history that suits both sides? And it's not clear yet where fundraising is going. But for the smaller amounts, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, it's looking as if it's much less at the relationship end than I like the look of what you're doing. I like what you're doing. I want to help.
So do you think, we talk about a lot of events and fundraising and awareness events with the various charities in Gloucestershire. Is it more useful for them to do this targeting of the individual with the money than putting on an event?
Well, all communication is useful, isn't it, with the community, but it's better to understand what to expect from the different ways of communicating. So an event can generate a lot of warmth, understanding, prepare the way for an ask sometime in the future. But in well-published graphs and charts of where your best bang for your buck is in fundraising, what raises most per effort and money, events is at the bottom.
Is it? Gosh.
By a long way.
Okay.
By a long way. And Gifts in Wills is at the top by a long way. You could meet somebody at an event and generate a relationship with them through email or post, whichever it may be, over time, so that that person does leave money in their will. But the first step wouldn't be the event, it would be after the event, being in touch and starting that trail of giving.
Yes, and that relationship. So your book is called A Blueprint for Fundraising. I mentioned you're involved in something called Raise More, which is in the Forest of Dean as well. Just tell us what you do there.
Yes, so we work with a number of small charities to mostly, not exclusively, mostly generate donations from members of the public. But I think our single largest gift was €23,000. 9,000, lots of 5,000s. It's a range. It's absolutely seldom in the pence.
So you're working with small charities, across the country really, but based in the Forest of Dean.
Yeah, exactly. And because in my own career in this, I would have been involved in more than 100 million mailings anyway, and more than 100 million contacts with donors. Over time, it just emerges what approaches work best. It just is. And so it pays to know what you're doing and copy anybody else whose material you can get hold of if they're doing well, or whichever way you do it. Use an agency like us, but there's all sorts of options of finding out what is the best blueprint.
Well, exactly, yes.
So,
and I can imagine, offices in various charities, they discuss this on a daily basis. What do we do? What's the strategy? Where do we get the money from?
Yeah. But if you took an author like Ernest Hemingway, like his books are a format with short sentences and so it's the same with fundraising communications. It's exactly the same. And if it were on paper, I can tell you that there is a better place to put a logo, a better place to put your introduction, a better form of words for opening a discussion, a better form of words for introducing the possibility of giving, and so forth. It is. It's like a jigsaw, but you've got to obviously know what the pieces of the jigsaw are.
Absolutely, yeah. Very interesting. We'll come back to this in the next few minutes because it's interesting to know what it's like out there in the fundraising world at the moment. Christopher's with us, international speaker, just written a book, of course, this new guide called A Blueprint for Fundraising. Interesting, because I know there's so many charities in this county that we talk to about their events, their fundraising, their awareness, and good to get this insight today. So more from Christopher to come in the next few minutes.
BBC Radio Gloucestershire.